right. Gump report. Another Gump report. Ugh. Stomach still messes with me. I wish I didn't have such a sensitive stomach. I'm such a sensitive guy, and my stomach just reflects that. Fuck me. But anyway, what do we got here? We got a little bit of a continuation of Alexa Bliss. Today, because it's the 29th, we got a picture on X of a mommy holding her baby in a picture. And that was Alexa herself holding her baby. Now, if you go to when you go and see the article with David Meltzer, he makes it very clear that the agreements have stalled completely between Alexa Bliss and TKO WWE. There is no movement. They've already taken her off the schedule for any type of storylines, and she's not on the schedule, if I'm right, to go to Royal Rumble. Flat out. From what we know, she isn't doing anything right now. Everything is just stopped. And here's the reason. WWE, TKO WWE, wanted to keep her on the extended contract that she's already on. She said, no, I want a new contract. That was with her own team to try and get it done. Nope. WWE wanted to keep her on an extended contract. She wanted a new one, and everything stalled. And at this point, at the 29th of January, before we get to see Royal Rumble this weekend, she shows this picture with her baby. Now they're thinking, well, she's done. She's not coming back right now. Or she may be not coming back, period. We don't know. Or this could be to throw people off, and she will appear at Royal Rumble. Now, supposedly, we don't know. As far as I can tell, she probably will not appear Royal Rumble this Saturday. But we have known people to trick our asses very easily, and this could be a trick. As far as we know, her contract is still not figured out yet. Either she's getting a new one, or she's going to take the extended, or maybe they'll come in between, which you never know. You never know. They'll come up with something where the extended contract could be altered to a certain extent to give her a little bit more than what she wants, but still keep what the WWE wants. Now, I don't know. But I will tell you this. What does this really mean if Alexa Bliss doesn't come back to WWE or TKO? Nothing. The storyline would have been that she was going to join the Wyatt Six. But here's the problem. Even if she joined the Wyatt Six, what would she have done? I'm sorry. As much as I'm not against Alexa. Never was. Never was against Alexa. But let's be honest. What is she going to do with a group that really hasn't done much? They took so long to get them started. Then they worked with Final Testament. Worked with The Miz and Final Testament. Excuse me. And a Chad Gable and American Made. And when it comes down to it, honestly, joining them, I don't think is going to make it any better. Yes, she's going to give a lot of leeway because she was with Bray Wyatt. She is one of the originals next to Eric Rowan that, in a sense, was part of the Wyatt family. And they could do something with her, but is it going to be about her? Or is it going to be about trying to get the entire group over? If it's just about her, the entire group gains nothing. But if it's about the group, then she's just going to be an afterthought, and people are going to get kind of pissed at that. So honestly, her not coming back, it's not going to hurt anything. To be honest, if she did come back, I don't think it would last very long. She would just be sitting in the back doing nothing. Because as it stands right now, the way TKO WWE operates, and I want to make this very clear, and I'm not telling you guys that the product 100% sucks. I know there's a lot of people who do not like the product right now. I understand that. But they don't understand the reason why the product sucks. They think it's all because of the Triple H era not being great. And there's also people who love the Triple H era. You don't get it. I'm saying it again. This is not the Triple H era. This is the Ari Emanuel era. This is what no one understands. No one's getting. As long as everything is still making money, Ari does not give a blue fuck how things are run. He doesn't care. We know that he's letting a Paul Levesque, a Triple H, run it the way he feels that it works. But it's only as long as money is coming in. Look at what we got with the Bloodline storyline. It is the only story that the company has that has any strength behind it. Only one. Now, mind you, that's happened more than a few times in WWE before it was purchased. But you need to understand that there were other stories under it that also were relevant stories. We had at one point years ago, we had The Undertaker, who was the goal there. But then during the time of The Undertaker, we had the Attitude Era, which had what? We had the Generation X, the Nation of Domination. We had several other prominent wrestlers that also had their moments. Stone Cold Steve Austin had his moment. The APA had their moments. There was always someone that was under the major storyline or the biggest person there to give us relevance, to care about. But when you look at the company right now, if you really look at it for what it is, you have Roman Reigns. Yes, he's the one that's at the top right now. That's the only focus they have. They have, next to him, the Bloodline storyline. So you have one guy who is the top of it, Roman Reigns, and you have one major storyline, the Bloodline, and you got them both connected. What do you have under that really has any major relevancy? You had the story with Cody. But now that story that should be here or equal to them is gone down to here. Bloodline storyline. Roman Reigns, Cody's here. Now, the one person they could start building properly is Jey Uso. Jey Uso is heavily over right now. So you got this, you got Cody, and then you got Jey Uso, who's just slightly here or here. Somewhere around either a level of Cody or just below Cody. But what stories do you have? Now you could say you got Cody with KO in that storyline. Yes, but that's on the same level as Cody. What else do you have? Tell me. Do you see Final Testament important? No. Do you see the Street Profits important? No. Do you see the Wyatt Six important? No. Do you see the women's storylines doing well? Rhea Ripley right now is the current champion. She's doing pretty well. Then you have a Tiffany Stratton who's also doing well. But do you have any storylines for the women? No. You literally have no stories. And they're going to say, and I'm sure many people say, dude, are you losing your mind? They got a whole bunch of people that were a whole bunch of stories. Minor, weak stories. Doesn't that sound familiar? That is what AEW is going through. The only difference between AEW and TKO WWE is that the most strongest story they have is up here with the most strongest character they have, which is Roman Reigns. You got almost a near 5-year story in the Bloodline, and one of the most people that is over in the company, and that's connected to them both. What happens when Roman doesn't come back? Currently, he has limited time. He's not coming back often. So who are they pushing right now? They're trying to push Jacob Fatu. They're trying to push Solo. They're trying to push Jey Uso. But none of them are higher than Cody. They're all down here. Or like Jey, he's somewhere kind of hovering around here. He kind of fluctuates, become a little bit more than Cody, either at the same level as Cody or a little bit less. You can't say Gunther because he's not extremely great when it comes to being a mic or heavily popular. He's a great wrestler, but he's not there. He just isn't. So you only have one major storyline, one really great wrestler, and everyone is heavily below it. And the storylines they currently have are all weak storylines, but due to the fact they have a 5-year storyline that is still heavily popular with one of the most heavily cared about wrestlers, this is what you have. And that's why, for me, this is not the Triple H era. This is the Ari Emanuel era. You know why? Easy. Ari would order that. Think about it for a minute. I know you're going to say, dude, are you stupid? No, think. Ari Emanuel is not a Vince McMahon. We are talking about the person who owns this company. That is a satellite company. Remember, this isn't just a simple company anymore. A promotion. It's no longer a promotion anymore. It is not a promotion. It is a satellite company. We got a mother company, which is TKO Group Holdings. Then you got Endeavor. You got WWE. And you got UFC. That's what you have. And I'm telling you right now, this is a satellite company. It is not a promotion anymore. It doesn't run like a promotion anymore. It doesn't. The head of the company, usually a promotion, they're the ones who usually book. They normally do. Look what happened when we had with Anthem and when it come to Impact Wrestling. Yes, Scott D'Amore ran it, and I'm not saying he did a great job with it. He had his moments. He had some good moments. He has bad moments. But when it came to the Anthem CEO, he didn't book a damn thing. Nothing. It was Scott D'Amore he hired to do the damn job as the president of Impact Wrestling, now TNA. And the moment that the company reached the point where it got some new relevancy, whether they didn't like, and making it very clear, it doesn't make a difference if it was due to the fact that Scott D'Amore wanted more money, or Scott D'Amore managed to get it to a certain level that it was becoming profitable, he got fired. And he's been replaced with a man, I can't remember his name, that has 30 years in network. Not another pro wrestler or pro wrestling promoter. It is a veteran of network television of at least 30 years. 30. He has no clue on how to book wrestling. And yet you could say, what about when he was working with WWE? No, he wasn't a wrestler. He wasn't a promoter. He wasn't even a manager or put up the ring. He was just an executive making sure that the show that CM Punk was on, I can't remember it right now, but you get my point. Now, what do we have in WWE? We have Ari Emanuel running the place. And you say, no, Triple H is running it. Triple H is just doing what he tells him to do. Triple H was told by Ari. Triple H was told, run it. I don't care how you run it. Run it. Make me money. That's it. He didn't tell him, run it. Make sure the storylines are done correctly. Make sure that we have something that's going to be great for the fans. No. He told him, honestly, any person who runs a company and tells the person who's running a satellite company or a subsidiary company, you're now in charge of it. Make sure it's running correctly and make sure it's making money. That's it. He doesn't give a blue fuck about the storylines. He doesn't give a blue fuck about how the fans get happy or sad. He doesn't care. He cares about making money. And if you don't get it, you will eventually see it, because sooner or later, because it happens in pro wrestling. This happened with WWE more than once. That it went up to a high, then it went like this, went down, then it came back up. WWE's had lows where sometimes interest to the fans don't work, and they have to try and figure a way to get them interested again. But in this situation where it's not Vince who's booking it or trying to come up with new ideas, no, this is Ari Emanuel who owns it, and he's going to look at Triple H. He said, you better get something done. And Triple H is going to do his best. But when it comes down to it, and understand, sooner or later, Triple H will have his head on the chopping block. It's going to happen. Triple H will only do as much as he can as long as the fans are interested. If you can't capture the fans, it happens. Sometimes it goes down for a year or two. Then you can get it back up again. Triple H could have his neck on the chopping block. And if Ari feels like he's not doing enough of a job, he's gone. Or he'll get demoted into something else. And that's what people don't understand. This is what people are saying nothing about. I'm not for seeing Triple H lose his job. I'm not saying he's done a bad job because he's done a decently good job. He has. He has his moments. Not saying they've all been great. But he has made a product that people do like a lot. And is beating AEW easily. And using TNA, and I'm saying it again, TNA is an extension of his developmental. It is a developmental now. It doesn't make a difference if you like it or not, saying they haven't bought it. It's not the point of buying it. If they wanted to show TNA being truly important to them and seeing them as a real important partner, their wrestlers will be seen on Raw and SmackDown. They will be doing crossovers from Raw and SmackDown. What are we getting? Crossovers from not AEW. Well, but think of it like this. I said in my previous video that AEW, when it was working with Impact, fucked up because there was no cross promotion of either parties. It was only one way. One way. In this situation, we are getting both ways, but instead of it being here on Raw or here on SmackDown, we got an NXT, the lowest hanging fruit of their company. Understand, NXT is the most lowest hanging fruit. If they valued TNA, they would be here with Raw and SmackDown. And you'll see people going back and forth from Raw and SmackDown to TNA's Impact Zone. If you truly believe that it's real, fair, and honestly a real partnership, why they're not here? Why are they here only? Because they're using their ass. And worse yet, TNA knows they're using their ass. And guess what? They don't care. Now, I'm not going to tell you Scott D'Amore wouldn't do it. He probably would. Same thing as what they're doing now. I'm not lying to you. He would. But I think he would have a little more dignity while doing it. Because they're not just doing it. They're bending their ass backward for it. But you never know that Scott D'Amore, who's already been seen on NXT, may come up with an offer to go to them. And still make sure that his Maple Leaf Pro is still running. And then he's going to help tell what TNA needs to do. Still, because he will be on the other side instead of in TNA's Impact Zone. But I'm going to say this. When you see this situation, when you see Alexa Bliss, and I know this goes right back to Alexa, the company doesn't really need her. They're not going to miss her. Honestly, they won't. It'll be fine. If she doesn't come back and she goes to another company, so be it. But does WWE really need her? No. Nope. Could AEW use her? Yes, but doesn't mean that they're going to book her correctly. The place they could book her at least decently well will be NXT. No, not NXT. Well, technically, if she goes to TNA, they may sooner or later let her show up on NXT anyway, because they will be cross-promoting. So that could be it. But this is just me. I hope you enjoy this. Peace.